A ticket taker didn't believe I was under 13, so we got free tickets for a year. Sorry for the formatting and spelling, I'm on mobile. Alright, I don't know if this counts as petty revenge, but it was a pretty nice payout for me and my family. 2 things you should know before I start is that, 1, I am very tall for my age and could easily look 3 to 6 older than I actually am at any point. 2, I get really bad anxiety, and back when this story happened, I was not a confrontational person. So my town had a botanical garden that hosts a Christmas celebration every year, where you can go through their property that is absolutely covered from head to toe and back again with Christmas lights. Now, I live in the Midwest, so during the winter months, it can get extremely cold, especially at night, which is when the event took place. So, by this fact, most of my family decided to stay at home that day, and just myself, 11 female at the time, and my brother, 19 male at the time, were the only ones going. How this place works is, you walk in and you go to one of 2 lines, if you paid for tickets online, or if you were buying them right then. My brother and I went to the right, then ticket line, and quickly made it to the front. At this garden, there were 2 options, 13 and above, which I believe was $15 tickets, but don't quote me on that, and 12 and below, which was only $6 if I remember correctly. My brother went up to the guy and the following conversation happened. Brother will be B, the guy will be G, and I'll be me. B. Hi. Could we have one 13 and above and one 12 and below ticket please? G. Just staring at my brother, who's that 12 and below ticket for? B. Getting really confused, pointed to me, who has been standing next to him the whole time, her. G. Smugly, oh really, how old is she? B. She's 11, what's the problem? G. There's no way she's 11. I will ring you up for 2 13 and up tickets. My brother got kinda upset, then I remembered I kept my student ID in the back of my phone case, as we needed it for lunch at school. Me, pulling my student ID out of the back of my phone, here, I am 11. My student ID shows I'm in 6th grade. G. Nope, that's old, you're not 11. Note, I don't know how this guy thought it was an old one, it has the school year in the bottom left corner. I started getting really anxious at this, and my hands started shaking. My brother noticed this and basically said, F it, and had the dude ring us up for the 2 older tickets. The rest of the night was better. We got hot chocolate and went through the attraction, still an awesome sight to see. My brother and I got home about an hour and a half to 2 hours later, and my brother told my mom the story of the jerk at the ticket thing. While my brother and I were just gonna forget about it, my mother was not. The next morning, she called the garden, and once she was speaking to a real human, they have one of those impossibly long answering machines. She explained the situation and how it made me really upset. The person on the other end of the phone apologized profusely, and offered her and her family, who was my mom, me, my older brother, and my older sister, free passes to the garden for a year. My mother happily said yes, as their gardens are beautiful. The person on the phone also said he would have a little talking to with the guy. We made use of the year pass, and I never did see that guy again. Anyway, like I said, don't know if this fits here, but I hope you enjoyed. I want to make a little edit here. The garden is only open some of the year, only a couple of months. While it was a year pass, it was the garden's year, not the actual calendar year. Act like a piss baby and make faces at me from your car. Alright, then wait annoyingly long at the ATM. I was out running an errand just depositing some cash when this absolute piss baby decided to act like he was 5. I was going to a drive-through ATM, and to get there, I was driving through part of the parking lot. Literally the only way to get to it is through said lot. As I was entering from one part of the lot, I saw some other dude driving to the same place. I drive out into the entrance before him, but we had a decent amount of space between us, so it was not as if I just cut him off while entering the line. What does he do in response? Honk like a effing maniac, not once, not twice, just aggressively hits the crap like his life depended on it. There was a small line at the ATM itself, including me, 3 cars in front of the piss baby, but that wasn't awful for what it could have been. This guy was not having that though. I saw him looking absolutely irate in my rear view, and then he promptly and quite aggressively pulled out and floored it out of the ATM line. That's the last of that, right? Nope. Dude effing comes back into the line looking annoyed as hell. He then proceeds to look like he was popping off at me, and even started sneering and making faces, like come on, are you a child dude? Note, I am a 20-year-old woman, this guy looks like he's in his 40s. I get running errands and having a bad day, And maybe he was in a rush, but like shoot man, just grumble, be annoyed, but if you act like a little piss baby, then get ready for me to be petty, cause I was not having it. The 2 cars in front of me finished up pretty quick, but I had other plans. I was in no particular rush and I had to deposit 20-some bills. Like most ATM machines, you can just stick a wad of bills in and it reads them, but I decided to feed the machine each bill individually. This, of course, prompts me on the screen to either add more bills or finish deposit each time, which adds on a good minute or 2 of me being there. This didn't take horrendously long, so I didn't delay him that badly, but I know that every second counts to someone who clearly can't be bothered to wait. The most glorious moment is when I made eye contact with him through my mirror. He was sitting there very clearly steaming and annoyed at the wait, and I just had the biggest crap-eating grin. He probably couldn't see it, but it was enough for me that he was pissed. To whomever that guy is, F you, I hope those 2 extra minutes ruin that part of your day, you absolute piss baby. Looking for my dog? Okay, here he is. I was told this belongs here, so here goes. For context, I live on the ground floor of an apartment building, with a parking lot outside my bedroom window, and a tree right next to it as well. My computer desk is next to the window, and on nice days, I often have it open. We also have blackout screens that allow us to see out, however you can't see in from the outside, unless you really go out of your way to. I have a corgi. If you're acquainted with the breed, you know that corgis are generally very vocal dogs that are a big dog in a small dog's body. They aren't squeaky like most small dogs, and have a big dog bark. Winston is no exception, but is pretty well trained and will generally hush or bark on command. Yesterday, I was at my desk with the window open as usual, and I noticed a man with 2 kids walking through the parking lot to go around the building. The little girl was holding Dad's hand, but the boy of about 7-8ish was running ahead. Winston heard them and let out a little bark. I shushed him, and went back to playing my game. The boy heard my dog though, and came really close to my window. He was pressing his face to the screen, and yelled I can't see it. Back at his dad. Being less than 3 feet from the window, this made me super uncomfortable. The kid started to cup his hands to the window, which would have allowed him to really be able to see in through the blackout screen. I generally don't like kids, I like quiet and privacy, and even though my window was open, I was feeling pretty invaded. I looked at Winston sitting next to me, and in the lowest whisper, I could say get em. Winston is not mean or aggressive in any sense of the word, but get em is his go word for bark at them real big time, and don't stop until you're told to. Winston lives for 2 things, barking, and hurting our cat. This was his time to shine. He didn't waste a second, and immediately started barking at the window as big and loud as his little lungs let him. He jumped up on the windowsill, and was basically barking directly into this kid's face from inches away. The kid started shrieking, stumbled backwards, and tripped over the same tree root that has made me eat dirt a few times. He went down on his butt pretty hard, and started bawling. The dad yelled stay out of people's windows then, and dragged him off. Winston barked until they were completely out of sight, and we could still hear the kid crying until they were indoors. I felt a little bad for the kid, and petty for what I did, but at the same time, he had it coming. Edit, I didn't expect this to get so big. Thank you so much for the votes and awards. I tried to reply to as many questions, compliments, and comments as I could. Hopefully all the compliments don't go to Winston's head, LOL. Peroxide blonde. This is a tale of my 2 siblings, and happened circa late 80s. My brother thought it would be amusing to put Vicks VapoRub in my sister's little pot of lip balm. Being winter in Canada, she took it with her on the school bus, and shared it with her friends. By the time they arrived at school, they all had swollen, numb lips, and watering eyes. She was not amused. As it was the 80s, my brother had a love affair with Final Net hairspray. The kind that you pump out like a fire extinguisher. His hair was a crystallized edifice that could withstand gale force winds. He is native, and has very thick, very black hair. My sister topped up the bottle with hydrogen peroxide. Over the course of a few weeks, and a few more top-ups, his hair started to slowly turn orange. It was so gradual that you didn't notice until it was all you could see. We kept our lips zipped, and it eventually grew out. I found out decades later, that my mother actually took him to medical specialists trying to find out what was going on.